I grew up in a country whose language I barely speak. I'm Russian. I was born in Kyrgyzstan. I now live in Kazakhstan, and somehow by complete accident I learned English well enough to make this channel. But the language I feel the most uncomfortable to speaking, it's the one I was supposed to grow up with. Let me explain. My family is Russian. I'm Russian and German a little. I've never been in Russia. We've been in Kyrgyzstan for generations. Russian is my first language, my only real native language. And growing up, someone told something that shaped how I felt about being Russian for years. People said if you ever go to Russia, they will hear your accent and they will call you Churka. Churka is a Russian slur for Central Asians. It literally means a chunk of wood, because apparently we are too for Asian to count as fully Russian. It's a bad word, never use it. Now, here's what I understand as an adult that I didn't understand as a kid. That was probably never even true. I don't actually have a Kyrgyz accent in Russian. No one in Russia would have heard anything. Someone said that to me when I was little. I believed it and carried that fear for years. I was raised to be afraid of a language I already spoke. I wasn't learning Kyrgyz because honestly, I didn't need to. In Bishkek, everyone around me spoke Russian. My friends, my family, my neighbors, shops, TV, all of it in Russian. You could go an entire year without using a single word Kyrgyz. I didn't really run into the limits of that until much later, when I started interacting with people outside my bubble. People from the regions, they have a completely different life. That's when I started to notice what I'd missed by not bothering. So let me back up and explain how language actually works in Kyrgyzstan, because it explains a lot. Kyrgyzstan has two official languages, Russian and Kyrgyz. Schools come in two flavors, Russian speaking and Kyrgyz speaking. Growing up, most of the schools in the capital was Russian speaking. Mine was. Inside the Russian school, there's still a Kyrgyz language classes, and that class gets split into two groups, kids who actually speak Kyrgyz at home and kids who don't. I was in the don't group. Our teacher taught us kind of half-heartedly, like they knew we weren't really going to learn it, and we didn't. English was taught from first grade. 9 years of we go to school to study, not to play. I said exactly like my teacher. And after so much time of learning English this way, I still couldn't have a conversation. The system wasn't really teaching you a language, it was teaching you the shape of one. Meanwhile, everything in Bishkek is bilingual. Ads, signs, paperwork. You can live your whole life without knowing Kyrgyz, and plenty of Russian families do. And even Kyrgyz families do neither. Maybe a few years, our government passed a law that if you work for the government, you have to know Kyrgyz. My grandmother was furious. She called it discrimination against Russian speakers. I told her, Grandma, if someone from village come to Bishkek and doesn't speak Russian, how are they supposed to get a government service? We agreed to disagree. So here's how I actually learned English. By accident, with a lot of embarrassment along the way. School, 9 years, zero result. At college I got 3 out of 5 my first semester, which for Americans is basically a D-. I was around 16 and I couldn't hold a real conversation. Then I took a programming course. I was learning Java, and every time I hit a problem, the answer was on Stack Overflow. In English, of course. The documentation was in English. The tutorials were English. For the first time in my life, English wasn't a subject. It was something I actually needed. And this is the part I'm a little embarrassed about. A teacher at that course judged my English level. It left something in me that I'm still carrying. To this day, I'm more afraid to speak English in front of other Russian speakers than I am in front of native English speakers. Because it feels like other Russian speakers are the ones paying the most attention to your accent, to how you say things, to whether you get it right. My real teachers, honestly, were Stack Overflow and PewDiePie. I've watched hours of him just to train my ear, and because of it was fun. Then something happened. A guy named Scott Allen came to Kyrgyzstan. If you don't know him, he now runs a YouTube channel called Strange Parts, and he has almost 2 million subscribers. Wow. But back then he came to Bishkek and teach us how to solder. It was 10 years ago. He was there in our office for about 2 weeks and he didn't speak Russian, so I had to actually talk to him in English, of course, every day. The first few days I used Google Translate for half my sentences, almost all of the time. And by the end, almost didn't need it. That was the moment English stopped being something I was falling at and started being something I could actually do. It was so exciting. After that, I came to college English classes and speaks so easily and get 5 out of 5. Later on, I started leading courses in satellite engineering. I was training girls in soldering, programming, and 3D modeling to build a CubeSat. This led to invitation to speak at international conferences about our project. Since everything was in English, I had no choice but to practice until got it right. I tried formal English classes exactly once, for 2 months. The first month the group was too easy because my conversation had gotten ahead of my writing, and the placement test was only writing. Second month I found the right level and then I just stopped. I don't even remember why. That's my entire formal education. Today my English is conversational. I have an accent. I can read articles. I can watch TikTok. I can run this channel. But put a good movie or literary novel in front of me and I struggle because that register is a different language from the one the internet taught me. And this is the part I'm not proud of. While I was learning English, Kyrgyz slipped further and further away from me. I understand a lot, really. I know a lot of nouns. I can say simple things about myself like Миний надым Алина. Кичирээсээ сая дэвкөнөс чуулуудыг китэп Канада канти барса болот. But I'm too embarrassed to actually speak it. In college for the first time, I had a teacher who actually took Kyrgyz seriously. She was strict and I loved her class. I started thinking about taking extra Kyrgyz lessons outside of school. But I was dating someone at the time. He was half Kyrgyz. His father was Kyrgyz, but he never knew his father. And he had this complicated, rejecting relationship with this half of himself. When I told him I was thinking about taking an extra Kyrgyz classes on my own, he laughed at me like, why would you bother? And that was a general vibe in a lot of Russian-speaking spaces, including sometimes people who were Kyrgyz themselves. A lot of Russian families in Kyrgyzstan, even Kyrgyz families, treat the language like it's optional. I don't agree with that anymore. We grew up there. We were shaped by the place, and I think that matters more than where our great-grandparents came from. Honestly, I can't call myself Russian, and I can't really call myself Kyrgyz either. But if I had to choose, I'd say I feel closer to being Kyrgyz than to being Russian from Russia. And the country is changing. There are incredible Kyrgyz language musicians right now. Not the cheesy wedding pop, actual artists. There are bloggers in Kyrgyz, books, even science books being translated to Kyrgyz. It makes me happy about future of Kyrgyz language, and I think it's really important. Important. And now I have a son. His name is Jan. He's a toddler, and right now he's learning Russian. Plus a little Kazakh at daycare. Plus the occasional English word his grandmother teach him. And we made a deliberate choice not to teach him English from birth. 10 years ago, I never would have believed I'd make a decision like that. We are moving to UK, maybe next year. We already have visa. We are not in a rush, but it's going to happen. And when we get there, English is going to swallow him. School, friends, daily life, all of it. So right now, while we can, we are building a strong foundation in Russian before English starts to take over. There is something genuinely funny to me about this. I spent my whole teens and 20s chasing English, but now I'm trying to protect my son from it for a while. It's important to us to preserve our culture and our language. We don't want to lose touch with our relatives, and we want our son to grow up able to write and speak Russian fluently. Language has always been a sensitive, deeply personal topic for me. I started back when I was an activist, and even though I've moved on from that, the feeling saved. As I get older, I'm starting to truly understand why people feel such a magnetic pull toward the place they were born and the language of their roots. I feel that connection to Kyrgyzstan, and honestly, it hurts that I never fully learned the Kyrgyz. I can say a few words. I can pull together simple sentences, but I can't truly express myself in Kyrgyz. There's a sense of loss in that, and it's something I still carry with me. And now, while I've been writing this script, I've been thinking about that girl who wanted to learn Kyrgyz but didn't, out of fear of losing the relationship. Yes, it's not a language I actually use, but I feel a connection to Kyrgyzstan. I feel almost Kyrgyz myself. I love my motherhood, and every time I talk about language, it's a deeply personal topic for me. I want to speak this language. I feel ashamed that I can't. Көргөнүнүз үчүн рахмат. Кош болуңуз. Thank you for watching. Bye.